Alright, so Sonic Frontiers is about a month away from releasing at the time making this video, and it's safe to say that the hype cycle for Sonic Frontiers has not been the smoothest ride. It started out as being a laughingstock of a game that the industry kinda just shrugged at. I mean, it was a pretty hard time to be a Sonic fan in the month of June. It was just shots being thrown at us constantly for how bad this game looked. But, you know, as time has gone on and we got more trailers and such, the opinion of Sonic Frontiers started to become a bit more positive. It's to the point where the majority of players who have played the demo for Sonic Frontiers have come out and said the game was actually pretty good from what they played. In fact, I can't even think of a single person who has played the demo and said it was trash. I've heard that certain aspects are bad about the game, but the overall experience is good. So, all is okay, right? Like, Sonic Frontiers is good, the game will get good reviews, we can all go home, right? Well, here's the thing. Sonic fans have been scarred due to multiple events in Sonic's history. I've made an entire video about it. It's the game critics. When it comes to the Sonic community, game critics have gained such a negative reputation that they are almost completely shunned at this point. Like, you'll still find fans who blindly blame IGN as a whole for not liking Sonic, despite IGN being made of multiple people who both likes and dislikes Sonic as a franchise. Which, I'll be honest, I have been guilty in the past of just pointing the finger at various gaming news publications, but that's not important. The main point is that a significant amount of Sonic fans do not trust game critics to give honest reviews on Sonic games, which has caused a lot of fans to be diagnosed with what I like to call Sonic the Hedgehog anxiety disorder, where essentially you have so much distrust with Sonic to the point where nothing is certain in the franchise. This even includes review scores. A genuine thought that many fans have is, what if Sonic Frontiers is good, but the casual audience and game critics don't like it? Now, if you're new to the Sonic community, you might be confused like, what? If the game's good, everyone will like it, right? Well, there was a situation with 3 Sonic games in the past where a lot of Sonic fans enjoyed these games, but the casual audience did not share these same beliefs. Those 3 games are Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, and Sonic Unleashed. All of these games are held in high regard to the Sonic community, and the adventure games were actually liked around the time they were released. So these games are loved by Sonic fans. But after Sonic 06, when we started heading into the 2010s, people didn't really like Sonic Unleashed despite the great qualities that the game had, and then people started to bash on the Sonic Adventure games because they did not age well. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say objectively that Sonic Unleashed and the Adventure games are masterpieces. They aren't masterpieces, I can easily say that. The Adventure games have janky elements to it, and Sonic Unleashed has oh so terrible pacing. But, come on, a 48? Granted, it's the DX port, but even for the DX port, a 48 is just way too low for this game. It makes the game look like Bubsy 3D, like, who gives this low of a score to a game like Sonic Adventure? It's not even that bad. Like, I get it has jank, but really? So, with that in mind, I can kinda understand Sonic fans. Like, this is kinda sussy, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm just saying, if I woke up one day and people started coming out saying Super Mario 64 was trash, I would lose my mind. That game is beautiful. It may have a lot of jank and the camera may suck and the controls may suck, but dude, the level design, that game's good. So it's easy to think that game critics are going to be awful to Sonic Frontiers. It's easy to believe that game critics are going to be biased against Sonic once again. However, I actually believe the casual audience, and to a further extent, game critics will genuinely enjoy this game. Now, when I say the casual audience will enjoy the game, I specifically mean the casual audience. I'm not saying the game will be a super duper amazing Sonic game that makes every other Sonic game look like giraffe balls, because there are other Sonic games like Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations which were loved by the casual audience, but personally, I would not say that either of these games are even in the top 5 Sonic games. I think casuals are going to love this game, even if the platforming is mid, and it's because of 2 reasons. The first reason is the strongest reason in my opinion. The game is structured differently from most Sonic games. What do I mean by that? Well, Sonic Frontiers is not built like every other modern Sonic game. Typically, how a standard modern Sonic stage would go is you have this linear and fast-paced level that has platforming that requires very fast reflexes. You have to react to these upcoming obstacles very swiftly. The boosting games especially, you cannot flawlessly play any Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Generations level without memorizing the stages. Because you have to memorize all of the set pieces, you have to know when to slide in the level, jump, homing attack, etc. To us, as Sonic fans, we love this. It's fun. This is our typical Sonic game shenanigans, you know? However, I want you guys just for this one time, put yourself into the shoes of someone who has never touched a Sonic game before. You pick up Sonic Generations, and you start playing. Sonic has this unique moveset that no other platformer even resembles in the slightest, and on top of that, the level design is constantly stopping you with obstacles that are unfairly placed constantly. If you tried to play Sonic as a platformer, it would probably scare you away because you're there wondering why the game is punishing you for going fast. You know, the thing that Sonic is known to do. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule and a lot of people do stick around to replay the levels, and that's why I'm here and you're here today. However, it's very hard for people to grasp the concept of replaying levels, so most people just don't. They just drop a bad review that complains about punishing level design and annoying controls, and then they call it a day. In fact, just recently I had to babysit my friend's cousin, right? He was a massive Sonic and Mario fan because he always watched Sonic and Mario animations on YouTube and all that. But his parents would never let him play video games, so when he finally came over, I let him play Sonic Generations. And he had a blast, don't get me wrong. But I had to help this man at literally every single part of every single stage he played in the game. This guy got stuck on every single obstacle. It took him a half hour just to get through Chemical Plant Act 2. Again, he still had fun, but man, my guy needed a partner just to even play the game. Next, I gave him Super Mario Odyssey to play, and he never needed my help. He just loved the game. After that, it was tragic. He didn't even care about Sonic Generations. The story ended with me letting him play Kirby, and now he's Kirby's #1 fan, but the main point I'm making here is that what Sonic has needed for a very long time is a game that allows Sonic to move at his own pace in a 360-degree environment. In an open environment like the open zone, you're not getting aggressive obstacles thrown at you every 5 seconds. You can actually sit back and play the game at your own pace. You're not forced to memorize the level design of the open zone to be good at the game. You can play a Sonic game like a normal video game. That may be disappointing to a lot of Sonic fans, but you have to understand, this is a dream come true to casual players. They are being given a chance to play a good Sonic game that does not have a massive learning curve. They can dip their feet in the water before taking a huge cannonball. I am telling you this right now. If Sonic Frontiers is at the very least decent, I am confident that this will be the best introduction to the series. Similar to how Breath of the Wild is such a good introduction to The Legend of Zelda. That game was very different from the other Zelda games, but after people played it, they became much more open to try the previous games in the series to see why people enjoy it so much. I'm hoping that's the case for Sonic Frontiers. You see, there's mutual benefits in the business of Sonic games. I scratch Sonic Frontiers back, and it scratches Sonic Unleashed's back by making more people play the game. You gotta love it. Okay, now the second reason. This is the bow on top of everything. I've talked about this in previous videos, but I honestly think the casual audience wants Sonic to succeed. That may sound hard to believe, but look around. After the movie came out, Sonic has been bigger than he's ever been since the 90s. I already said at the beginning of the video, nobody disliked the Sonic Frontiers demo. Nobody's pursuing the narrative of this being another bad 3D Sonic game. It's all positive. Like, believe it or not, it's positive. I believe that if Sonic Frontiers is good, it will be received well, and all will be happy. I mean, it could even get a bit of leniency due to the amount of supporters the game has. As long as the game's good, I don't think we have to worry about the critics or the casual audience not liking it. The difference between Sonic Frontiers and every other Sonic game that got debatably wrongfully bashed is the setting of the franchise. Back when people hated on the Sonic Adventure games and Sonic Unleashed was when people were still upset over the release of Sonic 06 and various other bad Sonic games. That's not to undermine any of the criticisms given to Sonic Unleashed or the Adventure games, but everything was greatly exaggerated in an echo chamber. Other franchises have gone through very similar issues. Like, go look back at The Legend of Zelda. When Wind Waker released, the game was received well, but there's still a lot of people who wrote off the game as a dumb kids game. Or bro, even Call of Duty, the one franchise that everyone memes on. Remember when people called Black Ops 2 mid? Yeah, I bet you miss the old Call of Duty games now. The atmosphere in which you release games are what ultimately affects the biases people have when they begin playing new games. Now look at Sonic Frontiers. Does it look like people are tired of modern Sonic? Does it look like everyone wants a new reason to hate this game? No. It's just happy and optimistic. Like, I mean, you'll find occasional Sonic fan that complains about stuff, like me. I don't like cyberspace, but most of it's positive. Of course, all of this can change if the game drops and it's hot garbage, but the game is being given a fair chance. We just have to count on Sega to take advantage of this opportunity that they are being given. Anyways, make sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and hit that bell with post notifications on if you want to be notified of my future Sonic content. With that said, I love you guys. Adios. My chill members are Gamer Blake 90, Fear the Red Chicken, Epic Gaming with George, Reese, Snix, JNXV, Ethan K78, Junior Ring, Sonic Man 715, Archix YZ, Sonic Up, Thomas One Ride, Chip Chopscape, The Squeaker Nerd, Sipshax, Boom, Sonic Extreme, and Super Saiyan Sonic. Thank you all for supporting the channel. Make sure to click one of the in-card screen videos here. Love you guys. Peace out.